What can you learn from the new Mexican heavyweight champion of the world, Andy Ruiz Jr.? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a 3-punch combo to knock out your life's biggest goals. Let's get into it right now. What's up, congratulators? I'm Xavier Garcia. This is the Ultimate Psychology channel. You'll find tons of videos to cure all your life. So let me set it up. Andy Ruiz Jr., the Destroyer, is the new heavyweight champion of the world. He beat Anthony Joshua on Saturday night, June 1st of Saturday night. And let me tell you where I was, because this is a shocking news story. And in a moment, I'll get to how you can develop that 3-punch knockout to knock out your biggest, your goals in your life, just like Andy Ruiz did. So check it out. My birthday was over the weekend, the big fight night weekend. And my family and I, we had, my wife and my daughter hadn't seen any of the Rocky series. I had actually sequentially built up my wife. She's seen the first 4. I was like, you know what, for my birthday, we're going to watch Rocky 5. And we're like, yeah. And the thing is we don't have DAZN, and all these boxing matches are on the DAZN app. We hadn't got a subscription to it. So we're just enjoying our evening watching the middle of the movie, the Rocky 5. You know, and Rocky's just a great fairy tale story about how this man overcomes adversity. And, you know, he gets a big title shot. And so we see some of these parallels with the Andy Ruiz fight. So anyways, and we'll get into that in just a moment. I'm watching the movie, and out of the blue, my stepdad calls. And I'm like, why is he calling me? I'm like, oh, snap. Did Ruiz just win the fight? And I went crazy, right? I was so happy, excited, called him back. He told me it was true. And we just celebrated. We shouted, we yelled, you know, Viva la Raza. We're excited because it's the first Mexican heavyweight champion ever in the world in the history of boxing. So good news, great big news. But the story is that, you know, I wasn't following Andy Ruiz because I didn't even know who he was. He's not a mainstream, and I'm not like a super avid boxing fan. I love boxing. I watch it whenever there's a big main event. You know, once in a while I'll go check most of them out. I'm, you know, kind of busy taking care of my own responsibility, trying to be the hero in my life, the champion in my life, with my wife, my daughter, and you know, with my business and my career here. So I'm not really too much into entertainment right now. So, and what makes this celebration so funny is that like I said, I don't even know who he was. When they told me that Andy Ruiz was going to be fighting, I was thinking it was John Ruiz, which is a Puerto Rican guy who fought Ruiz Jr. back in the day. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is probably going to be an easy win because if you know the history of the hype behind Anthony Joshua, this guy had like 20-something fights, I think it was like 22 fights or 23, and he only had 2 fights where they weren't knockouts. And so that's amazing, right? And the hype around him, he had 3 of the heavyweight championship belts, and so he was built up to be unbeatable, unstoppable, king of boxing. And so, you know, I didn't pay much attention to the fight, and most people didn't. Andy Ruiz was not a headliner. You know, he's kind of a soft-spoken guy, a very lovable person, and he just puts his work, and he fights. You know, he uses his hands to do the talking, his fists. And he's built up his career. He's had 1 loss on his resume. But after you do some little investigation on it, it was kind of a controversial decision. He should have won. Andy Ruiz had like over 100 amateur fights, and he won all of them except for like 5. So this guy is a destroyer. He just hadn't built that rep, that kind of publicity, that marketing, that advertising, and the money that the other big boxers are getting, especially with other guys like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and of course Anthony Joshua. It was like those 3 main guys, that core. So nonetheless, Andy Ruiz was 11-1 underdog, one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. So back to you and about how you can achieve your goals, or how this fighter, this person, this boxer can inspire you to achieve your goals. Andy Ruiz Jr. So the Destroyer. So basically, the first point is to prove the haters wrong, right? Because he was 11-1 underdog. Nobody thought he can do it. And you know, Andy's a chubby boy. He carries a lot of, with his own words. So I'm not bashing him. He carries a lot of flab on him. Calls himself a fat boy, and that's okay. You know, because your external appearance, your image, isn't always a reflection of your true cardio, your true conditioning. If you look at massive weight builders, you know, those guys are not super shredded. They don't look like Instagram models, okay? But you know, they're big, hulking. They're muscular. Or you know, I ran a full marathon, 26 miles. And there's people out there, you don't think that they're very fit, but they got motors, they have desire, they have a willingness to push beyond their physical limitations. And of course, obviously in common sense, mostly if someone doesn't look the part, it's because they're not the part. That's not always the case. We've also seen in football, right? There's Jerome Bettis, Natron Means, these running backs who could just bulldoze through linebackers, through linemen, because they have that size, they have that weight, but they have a motor in them, they have muscle in those legs, and whatever it is, and they could push through to score touchdowns and do what they do. So, people are going to look at you very unfavorably. Life makes it tremendously, it's very demanding for you to overcome and to achieve, the life of your dreams. We make it very hard on you because we only want the best of the best. And so people are going to treat you in the worst way. And no matter who you are, you're always going to have a unique, maybe it's not so unique, but you're going to have your unique challenge, whether it be your race, whether it be your body shape or size or image, whether it be your gender, your race, your religion, your height, your financial status, your background, your experience or lack thereof. Whatever it is you're going to have a challenge. And that's the key. Whatever you think that's the reason why you can't succeed, that's exactly the reason why you should succeed. When you overcome that limiting belief, then the doors are wide open for you. So be sure to take advantage of those when you get the chance and when you can acknowledge it and be conscious of it. And I want to say too that proving the haters wrong, you think, well, that's a negative thing, that's a negative motivation. You shouldn't be doing that to get over somebody. That's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily a light or a positive motivation, but it is a dark motivation, and it can be used for something constructively, because when you overcome that, you prove to other people that there's no more limitations on that particular belief system. They once said that a black man could never be the president of the United States, and we had Obama. And so now that's no longer a limitation. There's no more excuses for that. We can do it. And so because he did it, you can overcome, you can do it too. So, and you have to take it with a grain of salt too, because if you're doing something that seems seemingly impossible to other people, you can't expect them to believe in you the way you believe in you. They don't know what you got. Only you know what you got. And you're going to show us in time what you're capable. You're going to blow our minds, because you're going to break through those limitations for us. And so don't blame necessarily the haters or the doubters because they doubt you, because you are doing something exceptional. You're doing something extraordinary. Perhaps you're doing something that's never been done before. When you do get to that state of maturity, you can say, yeah, I told you should have believed me. You should have never doubted me. But at the same time, you can't blame them because, they weren't you. They didn't know what you had, So take that into consideration. And as you go forward, as you remove your doubt and you remove their doubt. All right, so let's get into our second point here, our second punch in this three-punch combo to knock out your biggest goals in life while you're going for your dreams. And that's to refuse to quit, refuse to lose. See, what happened is, let me give you some of the background in this story, the way the fight went. So first 2 rounds, these guys are filling each other out. Round 3 comes. So Anthony Joshua is a big guy. He's like 6'6", 245. And they get into exchange, and Joshua hits him with the straight, and boom, for the first time in Andy Ruiz's career, he hits the canvas. And in your life, you're going to have, if you're going against something big and large, it's going to knock you back, and you're going to find out what you're made of. Ruiz was on the floor. He looked up, and he was like shocked for the first time, but he looked up and he wasn't out. He wasn't defeated. It actually woke him up. It woke up the tiger, the lion, that animal that was inside of him. So he gets up. Like most people, they would take that shot. They wouldn't want to feel anymore, especially in a boxing setting. They would go hug and they would go clinch or something. Not him. He got back up, and this was supposed to be Anthony Joshua's final time to go for the kill, and he does. He did go for it, and Ruiz took his shot, right? And it was just like, whoa. And then that was the real shot that woke up Ruiz. And he said, you know what? You could see his body language. I'm not going back down there again. And all that energy, all the frustration, all the things that he was fighting for, to be the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world, and he went for it. He refused to quit, and he hit Joshua with the right, with the hook, hit him in the side of the head, and Joshua was never the same after that. So when you get to these moments, when you are facing challenges and it knocks you down, it's either going to make you or break you. Only the strong survive. So you're going to find out what you're really made for. But let me tell you, you have that ultimate resource what's inside of you. Whatever comes across your way, you can get up from that challenge and continue to move forward and come out like a bat out of hell and be like, you gotta attack it, because it doesn't want you to win, it wants you to lose. But in a way, all it is just testing you for you to rise to new heights, to surpass your limitations. So it's not even a hate thing or a negative thing. It's life showing you and asking you, how badly do you want it? Because if what you're asking for is like, dang, that's expensive. It does carry, success is not on sale. You have to pay the full price, and it's expensive. You got to pay the full price in advance. So Ruiz had that opportunity. He seized it. He took on the challenge, and he overcame that. And he's being rewarded for it now today. That shot hit Joshua in the side of the head, knocked him down. Ruiz followed up again, knocked him down again in the third round. And so you're going to have your challenges. You got to show your resilience. You got to get even. Don't take no for an answer, and respond accordingly with likeness. So that's where we separate the men from the boys. Okay, you make sure that failure is not an option, and you got to know your why, because this was a big part of refusing to lose. Is you got to know your why. Andrew Ruiz, for his whole career, his whole life, he's 29 years old at the time of the fight. He took his chance. He took his opportunity, and his leverage, his ultimate leverage. And he was saying before the fight, because he's soft-spoken, nobody really believed him, looking back at it, is he wanted to be the first Mexican heavyweight champion in the world. And now he's even getting to see the president of Mexico, and all these accolades are coming to him because he had this why. He had the leverage. Joshua was looking past him. He was looking for a fight down the road, and when you're not that focused, and the unassumingness of Ruiz kind of played possum, and he tricked him. It's a great ploy, great strategy. But the thing is Ruiz had the leverage because he had the bigger why. He had the biggest why in that ring that night. And now that he has this mantle to carry with him, I know that he's going to probably carry that into the next fight and the next fights to come. So figure out what your why is, your ultimate why, and that'll push you beyond any obstacles, any roadblocks, any opposition. You'll become unstoppable. All right, congratulations. So this is going to be the third punch in the 3-punch combo to knock out your goals, your life's biggest goals, and the strategies and the lessons that we learned from the Andy Ruiz and the Anthony Joshua fight on June 1st. So this is it. Just like it says in the title, go for your dreams. You put in the preparation. You've put in the hours, and it's time to execute on your goals now. Life will finally reward you on a silver platter, your opportunity. You've gotten past the doubt, you've gotten past the haters, you've overcome, you've taken its best shot. Like Ruiz took Joshua's best shot, and you've gotten past that. You've responded with resilience. You're not taking no for an answer, and now it's time for you to take your shot at it. Okay? Now, it's not always going to come necessarily with a swift, quick, clean punch. You have to go at it ferociously, aggressively, and you got to keep going until you get it to the very end. Even whether you're pursuing a woman to ask her out on a date, obviously you're not coming aggressively, but you're going to pursue and you're going to keep being persistent. Sometimes people, or if you're going after a job interview, you're trying to make that sale, whether you want your dream spouse, you want your dream house, your dream car, your dream life, you have to keep pursuing it and doing whatever it takes. You got to throw barrages of punches, as a metaphor, and eventually it will give up. It'll know that you wanted it, that you wanted more than it wants to stop you, and it'll bow down. It will concede. So get your game face on and go for your dreams. This is Xavier Garcia, Ultimate Psychology Channel. If you like this video, please smash the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Until then, love is freedom. Thank you very much.